It doesn't matter whether you're applying for something part-time, an internship, or a graduate role. If you're in college and looking for a job, you're going to need a good resume. And that's what we're going to tackle today. I'm Seb Morgan, a careers coach and resume writing specialist, and in this video, I'll take you step by step through each section you should include and share a couple of shortcuts you can use to adapt your resume for different jobs. So this is the final result we're going to be aiming for here. I've downloaded this template for free from the College Student Resume Guide on Resume Genius. I've picked this format because it's appropriate for most student jobs. The link's in the description if you want to follow along. We also have a ton of other template designs you can download at no cost. If you prefer a template that's a bit more old school or a different color, then I highly recommend checking out our library. Okay, let's skip over the resume objective. Don't worry, we'll get back to it in a minute and go straight to the education section. When you're a college student or recent graduate, it's important to hit this section early on. So we're going to start with your degree. Enter your degree's title, the name of the school you went to, and your expected graduation date. That last one is especially important because employers for internship and graduate positions often set graduate date requirements. So this is one of those first details they're going to check when they review your resume. Next, the additional information. Add in your current GPA if that's above a 3.5, then any relevant courses or dissertation topics that will relate to the job. It's important to be selective here, by the way. Only include information that highlights your interest in the job or your job relevant skills. For example, video journalism or podcasting if you're applying for a journalism internship. Next, let's move on to your relevant experience. I hear a lot of people saying, well, how am I supposed to put experience on a resume when I don't have any work experience? Now, your relevant experience can really be any roles you've been in that relate to the job, whether they're paid or unpaid. Volunteer roles, summer jobs, school newspapers, times you helped out on the local hockey team. Really think broadly about the responsibilities you've taken on over the last few years. Which ones use transferable skills that are relevant to the job? Which ones demonstrated your initiative and work ethic? I used to have this friend back in college. She didn't have any work experience to put on her resume, but what she did is start up her own student language club. And that experience helped her land her first internship. Here's how you can turn an experience like that into a resume entry. Each entry needs a job title, an employer or organization name, or if you are freelancing, you can just say freelance, and a location. Here I've used the university name because it was a school club, but you could also just put the city that the job was in, and then you want to add your start and end dates. Next, we're going to add some bullet points to describe your experience. Job titles can be pretty vague, especially if the employer hasn't met you before. So giving a bit of background information about the role really gives your resume more detail and color. I like to start with one bullet point of context. What kind of job was this, or what was my role specifically? We'll use the remaining points to highlight specific achievements that demonstrate any noteworthy skills, wins, or responsibilities. I would prioritize anything where you've taken initiative or held relevant responsibilities. For example, this student has experience writing newsletters and social media content, which would be relevant to most employers in journalism, content creation, or communications. If you're having trouble describing your work experience, you can also make things easier for yourself by using an AI bullet point generator to spitball relevant achievements and responsibilities. Let's move on to the skills section. This should be a quick reference list of your technical and transferable skills. It should just give employers a quick glance at what you know, so keep it concrete and precise. And that means no soft skills. Simply writing teamwork or communication doesn't impress anyone. As a rule of thumb, I would list 3 to 6 skills that would really emphasize your expertise or uniqueness as a candidate. Any information that the employer really needs to notice at a glance, that's what I would include here. Okay, it's time to circle back to the resume objective. Like the abstract at the start of a term paper, your objective quickly summarizes your resume, covering the most important skills and the reason you're applying for the job. And when I say quickly, I mean in 30 to 50 words. You can write the whole thing in 3 sentences, actually. The first sentence covers who you are in a way that relates to the job. So, media and communications major or aspiring graphic designer with 5 years of experience. The second sentence lays out something you do well. You know, a skill or an achievement. Maybe experienced in Canva and Adobe Design, or published 12 articles in a student magazine. And lastly, you should specify what you want or what you bring to the role. And tailor this to the job, something like, excited to bring my design skills to a fast-paced creative team. Your resume objective should highlight skills you're going to cover in more detail elsewhere on your resume. And that's why you write the objective last, not first. It's much easier to know what your main selling points are when you've already laid out the rest of your document. So one thing you might be wondering by now is, do you need to tailor your resume to every job you apply for? And the answer is yes. Bummer, I know. But if the jobs you're applying for are fairly similar, the quickest fix you can use is just updating your objective. Tweak the last sentence to show why you're interested in that specific employer, and pick a detail that reflects their mission, product, or growth opportunities. That kind of personalization will go a long way. But if you really want to go the extra mile without giving yourself too much extra homework, you can also upload your resume to a builder. Personally, I like the Resume Genius builder for a couple of reasons. You can generate fresh content with the help of AI tools when you're stuck. You can reorganize your sections so your most relevant experience jumps out. And you can switch templates as you gain more experience and still keep it to one page. Another feature that's great is you can save your resume to the dashboard. In fact, you can have multiple resumes on the go at the same time, so you can improve and add to it super fast whenever you need to get out a new job application. Once again, you can find the template and an online library of other designs on our website. All of this means you'll be set and ready to fire out job applications the next time an opportunity crops up. If you think you need a cover letter to go with your resume, and yes, you do, you can also check out this guide right here for tips on getting one done and dusted in 5 minutes. All right, best of luck with those applications, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.